Greetings and welcome. This is Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well. Welcome to episode 16 of Intuitive Sundays. And you'll know I took a bit of a break, a well-needed break. I'm feeling on point again, maybe a little bit too fast, as if you watch the shows during the week, Spirit keeps telling me, slow down, slow down. So here we are on a restless place like this is called planet Earth. So just to get warmed up, I'm going to do a profile on the number 16. We have a missing persons case, Jenny Hall, that I want to have a look at as well. She's gone missing, unfortunately, in the UK. Supposedly during a hiking trip or something to that nature. I'm going to make it a bit local in this podcast. We're going to come to South Africa and just have a look and see what's going on with the debacle this week around the non-delivery of the budget speech. Of course, that sent panics through the systems. And now there's been a new date announced for the budget, March 12, 2025, but immediately we do see a conflict. So we'll have a look. Now, since the beginning of January, we have all of these aviation catastrophes, right? The Canadian plane that flipped over, we got the musician, and we've done and looked at what happened with the Black Hawk Down. But while I was preparing, I was actually going to prepare a full episode. I possibly will still do, but a full in-depth, but for the purpose of today. In this episode, there's something, when I looked at all of these accident events, there's something striking about the Alaskan crash. And that took place on February the 6th, 2025. I looked at the numbers there. Something's not happy there, unfortunately. So we're going to have a look today. And then we have that two mid-air collisions, or a mid-air collision in Arizona, training flight by the sounds of it. One craft, the two occupants survived. The two others, unfortunately, never. I'm also picking up strange numbers around that event. So we'll look at that as well. Just as I took leave and I was about to prep the issue around DeepSeek, because that's now the new buzzword. Remember, we did Stargate. We had the conference in France, the 10th and the 11th of February. I picked up an issue there as well. And then I had a look at DeepSeek, and let's go through that as well, because we got serious, and I want to use the word fucking problems with DeepSeek for sure. All these sevens are all in DeepSeek. We got massive chaotic sevens. And let me tell you, yes, 16.7. So that's a nice segue. 16.7, if we had to, so 16.7 gives us a number that tells us software. So if we look at IT, internet, web, 16.7 is software programming. Well, it's a software. Now, in the spirit world, 16.7 is the psychic. In the conventional secular or non-secular, and if we look in society, 16.7 is the priest. 16.7 is the teacher, educator, marketer, pilot, traffic cop, police. We can even go as far as into the courts. So a very significant number in the 7. It has a higher place in the stacking order, if you will. So we find ourselves with a missing persons case, and I just slurred my slur. One moment. Oh, by the way, it is Sunday morning. Don't ask me why. It is 4:43 a.m. Last night, while I was prepping these slides, actually, there's the old metadata. I love showing metadata, well, legally anyway, or non-personal, let's put it that way. The worms are still taking their final nap, and the birds will be up, I'm sure, by the end of this recording. All right. Now, Jenny Hall has gone missing, was last seen leaving her home in Barracks Farm, Tolaw, County Durham. So this is in the UK. She was traveling in her vehicle and last seen 3 p.m. Tuesday. So 3 p.m. Tuesday gives us February the 18th. I've drawn a line. Now, I've drawn out the numbers for February 18, but I've put a line starting from the second row, which is hidden, 20 outcome 2. Could be water. Yeah, there's water here. I haven't looked at these numbers at all. There's a water issue here, unfortunately. So I've drawn a line from the hidden 20 outcome 2, 11, 2 plus 9, because 3 p.m. starts in that zone. So we overlap into the next day, which includes the number 19, 10, 1. Now there's a problem. 19, 10, 1 on any situation is a problem. We've got a 29, 11, 2 in the senior. So let's take it first on a interpersonal level, right? Human being gets in a car, she wants to go hiking. And the human being has background story, emotions, work life, school life, whatever. I don't know what she does or where she's from or what it is. So on the day, we've got emotional numbers, 11, 2, high emotion, emotion, 11, 2. I say emotion because we have a hidden 20 outcome 2. So you can almost say her emotions are being suppressed. 11, 2 is a 50-50 situation. It is a maybe, it's a 50-50. Are we going this way? Are we going that way? Are we going to stay together? Are we going to go apart? Or it can be something illegal or legal is taking place here. Now we're going to go with legal because I've got a 29, 11, 2 here. This is okay, a very bad number on the scene. I'm trying to just get it obviously has positive traits in that we can say, all right, 2 people have got an idea, 9. They're going to meet up, 11, 2. Now that can tie in with the 19, 10, 1 because 19, 10, 1 is internet. Hey, let's meet at this place at 3 p.m. and we can go on a hiking date. And the other person chuckles because you can't see the motherfucker on the other side of the interweb. Sure, honey. So the 2 lesbians agree to meet at the river. I'm just giving a lame example. Doesn't say anything. I'm just giving an example because instead of a woman arriving, there's a male. You know what I mean? Online profiles is what I'm getting to. I don't know. And I have no interest in her sexual preferences whatsoever. But I'm giving an example. She's going to go meter like for like, 11-2. The problem is we have a hidden 21-3 as an outcome. We have a 30 outcome 3, so she could have actually met a female as well. There could be someone else stuck in the ice. Who knows? The issue here, we got 20 outcome 2. We got a double wart. So we got a hidden, for me, the hidden 20 outcome 2 is about the emotions. The outcome, the result of the day, what is going to happen by the end of the day? We see an open 20 outcome 2 water. Second time she's pinged on me with this open water. 11-2 can be an accident, trip and fall. But there's a 19-10 1 year. Now let's go deeper, because it becomes serious. So we got a 32-5 in the +3. Let me just write this down for my own sake. So in the +3, because we don't want to do too much numbers, but as I say, I haven't done a deep analysis on this. So in the intention, we actually have a 14-5 where the 11-2 is. There's another negative number, unfortunately, in the context of a missing person. 14-5, exactly what I've just said. Someone could have lied to her, because there is a 12-3 here, which means, hey, come visit, you bring the tea, I'll bring the scones. And only when they arrive there, there's sleeping medicine in the tea, or date rape pills in the tea. You know what I mean? That kind of scenario. 14-5 is foul play in anyone's book. 14-5 is not a natural number. Let me explain that. 14-5 is not a natural number. So when you have an outcome 5 in a human condition situation, there's an issue, there's a problem, whether mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever. There's a problem. And the problem is brought around by a human. So it means we can say accident, but 14-5 is not an accident. 14-5 is a deliberate intervention by a human being to cause an issue. Or as a result of the human intervention, there's an issue, which means the human intervention becomes negative, or was negative. 14-5, it's like you can't change the spots on a leopard. Think of it that way. So we got a 31-4. Shit. Is it 30? 32. Yo, 31-4 is nerve-wracking. 32-5, where the 29 is. So in the +3, then, so the intention, one could say, is to cause destruction. What the hell? Something's okay. Let's go deeper. So the other outcomes, we have a 23. There's a group involved here. It's not just the friendly lesbian or friendly boyfriend. God damn it! What is going on? Okay, maybe I'm going to, no, let's see, 32-5. There's other people involved here. Okay, let's go deeper. So let's do a +6. +6. Oh, shit. We have a 17-8 in the middle of the day. So when she arrives there, there's a 17-8. 17-8 is not a good number in a missing persons case, unfortunately. And in the, you see in the hidden, where that 20 outcome 2, there's a 23-5 hidden. So there's a hidden group here. There's, without failure, if there's a 1910 one in the zone, in the crime scene, we got problems here. And it's not now. Now we're moving away from the possibility of an accident. We in the region of unlawful. So let's go deeper. So 26, hidden 26.8. Hidden 26.8. Something's been set up here. She's been set up. She's been set up. So the outcome, or am I counting wrong? No, let's see. She's been set up. So we've got, and then we've got an outward 26.8. Oh dear. I don't believe we know all of the story here, ladies and gentlemen. There's something at play. So let's put it this way. We in the +6. For me, the +6 is like if it's in the +6, you fucked. In a bad, if it's negative, let's put it that way. Just to put it frankly, more or less. So we've got a 35.8. So where the 29, I'm getting a bad feeling here. Very bad. Where the 29.11.2 is in the real. So in the +6, we have a 35.8. And a 35.8, lots of 8s in the action here, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of 8s, detrimental to the body. And it's not accidental. These numbers here suggest violence, not I slipped and I hit my head on a rock and I fell down into the cold lake or dam or river or whatever. This is bodily damage by human. And let's just say, because I've just been asked, or it's just been impressed on me, could it be an environmental damage? So in other words, she's walking, oh, we forgot to take water, I'm thirsty, and oh, I fall down, I'm so thirsty. No. Okay, let's go +9. Oh, it's not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. There's too many negative signs here, unfortunately. All right, so all is revealed in the +9. The day, when she arrives there, when she arrives, you see there's a bigger issue here. When she arrives, her knowledge and the person she's meeting's knowledge, there's a hidden 29.11.2. Something's up here. So in other words, something transpired before this event, for this event to occur. Does that make sense? And then we have an outward water number again, yeah. Of course we would. So the 29.11.2 becomes a 38. We've got open comms here. We've got comms. There's other, you see, other people, open comms, multiple comms, 3 comms at least. So we can take it on the literal, 3 comms minimum. But if you zoom out a little bit, it says there's a collective knowing of what happened here. There's more to this than meets the eye, ladies and gentlemen. There's a bigger story at play here. And you know, these other UK stories that I've been covering, where these individuals all of a sudden disappear. You remember the 2 characters, both, in fact, footage in a convenience store before they disappeared. We've got a 38.11.2 in play, ladies and gentlemen. This means there's a collective knowledge, not even knowledge even. There's a collective unlawfulness going on here. So there's a puppet master of the like in play. So let's do the 1910 1 plus 3, or 22 4, ladies and gentlemen. There's a plan in play here. 22 4 in the plus 3 of the 1910 1. We've got a 22 4, so master plan. It's a premeditation number. It's a master plan with a premeditation number, so definitely foul play. So we go plus 6 on that, 3, so we get a 25 7. Ooh. So 25 7, there's an issue, right? Now 25 7, if it's interpersonal issue, can apply 25 7. But because we have a 38 11 2 in play, because we have a 29 11 2, there's more than 3 people involved. We've got a 23 5, a wider grouping community, but there's also the inner circle 14 5. Now, this is my blood is starting to boil. Why? Because we have a 7 in play. And ironically, the preamble to this episode, we speak about effectively the 7s. Motherfuckers. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we got ourselves a conspiracy situation in play here. There's a cover-up of sorts. Let's go deeper. The last plus 9. Why do people always want to play? So 9, 28, 10. Oh, they're sending a message. 28, 10, 1. You see, this is even government level. Now when you get a 28, 10, 1, now we're talking the people in blue, the government and municipal government councils protecting them. We've got a problem, ladies and gentlemen. This is a problem. These numbers look very familiar. 30, outcome 3, 21, 3, 12, 3, 3. The intention of the day, February 18, when the sun rose that morning. Well, according to reports, the UK hasn't seen the sun for several days or almost weeks. In South Africa, it's been raining, while in Joburg, it's been raining since mid-December to present day. Like, I think we've seen 3 times half-day sun days out of the past 2 months. Personally, I couldn't live in the Nordics because if you don't have your vitamin D, oh my God. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got issues here. So we've got a larger scale operation going on here. Multiple people involved of the knowing. This wasn't a casual, I don't believe, a casual walk down, hey, let's go take our dogs for a walk in the park. This was meet here or else. 26-8 and 35-8, very, very aggressive. Even in tone of language, you will get here, or we will spill the beans on the hidden 29-11 too. Do you know what I mean? That kind of situation. And because there's multiple people involved, the outcome 28-10-1 is sending a message to all those involved. Now you ask yourself, or I'm asking myself even, a 23-year-old, what can a 23-year-old be involved in? What is this all about? Intention. What is this all about, actually? Internet situation, is it? Kidnapping and trafficking. There's no trafficking, kidnapping numbers here. This is a collective made up of lies, and the 1910 one still brings around internet issues, huh? She may have been lured here. I believe they are going to find her. I keep up. Twice I've seen an image of her frozen, but for some reason I'm not seeing her. It's not well. I'm seeing her what would appear to be on ground, but on snow or just cold. But above, it feels like she's above the earth. Could be frozen water even. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, we've got a death. 13-4 on the following day. Hidden 22-4. See, there was a hidden agenda. And we have that 31-4 the next day, unfortunately. So we've got it's the same number. So then we got a 31-4, 22-4, 13-4. So if I had to look at this from an environment's weather purposes, I mean, the fives bring around Earth, not even so much, man. There's something wrong here, ladies and gentlemen. And there's two people involved here, hey? All right, so for me, there's definitely foul play, and there's other people involved. Internet, we need to trace her internet activity. But this 38-11-2, that's so that 38, so what's bugging me is the 3, 38-11-2, and we've got a 25-7, a 7 issue. It's not an interpersonal marriage relationship issue, no. This is a judicial policing government type issue, and these are all high level. 28-10-1, 38-11-2 is high ranking government of the like lingo. So there's something there's a story within a story here, and there's more to the eye on this thing. But 23. All right, we'll keep an eye on the news and see what developments come through. But to me, this was premeditated, planned, and foul play, in my humble opinion, on any given Sunday. How was the Super Bowl? I haven't been able to comment since that. Of course, we don't know what happens in the background, but certainly not the match that was intended. But interestingly, as a comparison, that same time zone in the UK region, the rugby was very close. Rugby union matches, big matches, high-profile matches, right down to the end. I forget the two teams, right down to the end, close match. When I observed, I watched some highlights, not extensively, so the information can be skewed. By all accounts, the Chiefs quarterback should have rather stayed at home, or because on that day we had an 11-2. That result that we saw that day or that evening, it went to like 34-0. Don't quote me exact, but down to the right near the end of the third quarter. Only then did the Chiefs start making some points, scoring points. So the day has an 11-2, the outcome. So if we needed a scripted event, that was a scripted event. If for whatever reason Chiefs and their quarterback had sleeping pills and woke up at the end of the third quarter, so be it. But to me, bullshit in the air on that one. Guys, do us a favor. You know what I mean? Then when the Chiefs start scoring, look how many points they scored within a quarter and a bit. Come on. Someone was choking the chain there. That's my only rationale that I could come up with, because my only rationale is, and I'll get to the other issue, is when you have a 11-2 situation, so 50-50 that it's like someone gets a penalty in the last 30 seconds of a game that can swing the game. That's what it is. Don't tell me, and all respect to the birds, but why don't we give them a head start? All right. So we had a situation. So I'm jumping to the next topic straight away. And this picture has an impact on me. So this week, we were meant to have the South African budget speech. Now, in the past, because I worked on particular programming, it was necessary for me to watch and listen to the budget speech, because that would filter content for us for our programming, right? So I wanted to watch the budget speech this year in a light capacity, let's just say, in a light capacity. And everyone waited for quite a while. Now, the reason why the budget speech didn't come out, of course, we know now that the majority holder of the Government of National Unity only completed the budget the morning that the speech was meant to be given. Not even a speech, it's presenting the budget to the nation, to Parliament. However, they failed to present the budget to the other half or other parts of the party, or the collective Government of National Unity. So, in other words, the opposition within the government didn't get an eye on the budget, right? So was the ANC expecting just to, that's the budget, take it or leave it? The budget was never released because there's a conflict. Do they want to increase value-added tax? What were they going to do that upset the opposition party? Now, what I'm more concerned about is the new date. The new date is March 12, 2025. And immediately we have a conflict. So we have a conflict. So let's take it on, because it is there's more than one party making up the whole. We have a conflict of groupings here. So here's the conflict. when you have numbers like 6 around, brings in the profession accountancy, dealing with money. Now, when you have a 15-6 in the middle of the day, it's almost like, well, I don't want to say forgery, but it's like making it fit, putting it, however it's put together. There's the budget, but it's kind of got issues, right? Because there's a 5-year. So the budget that's going to be presented has issues. It's going to seem familiar, but the ultimate outcome is there's a 15-6. That, for me, in my personal capacity, in my opinion, I'm not an economist, but any issue is an issue, right? So let's go back. So here we have the 11-2. So by all accounts, the day before, I would go even by March 10, there would be a consensus on the budget. By March 11, when everyone wakes up that morning, there's a deal in place. However, because it's followed by a 14-5, there's an issue. So here's a confirmation there's an issue. The problem now let's look at it this way. When you're dealing with money, the last number you want around any budget is a 14-5. Why? Because 14-5 speaks about fraud, corruption, embezzlement. And the 11-2 is a high legal power number, legal. So 23-5, we got grouping numbers. There's a wider grouping. Or let's just say if the budget's up and up, right? We got a 14-5 at the start of the day when the budget is going to be delivered. 14-5. I don't want a 14-5 the day before I'm going to transport money to the bank, just as a metaphor. Because what does that mean? There's a gang waiting at the door of the next morning to go, waiting for that cash. Does that make sense? So we'll seek further confirmation. So when everyone goes to sleep on budget day and we wake up March the 13th, we've got a 13-4. Could this indicate new beginnings? Could this indicate new beginnings? There's numbers of divorce here. Is there a situation where the leading ANC can rebuke, I suppose rebuke is quite a heavy word, rebuke the Democratic Alliance? Democratic Alliance being the main opposition shareholder. There are other collectives within the GNU. There's even there's even possibility of a split in government here, even, eh? Shit. Look in the plus. Okay, let's go deep on this. I'm picking up issues here. I mean, I've heard it been spoken about. I'm not a political pariah or piranha or anything. I'm a general knowledge person around politics. Now, when we're seeing these numbers, because I've heard, I mean, can the ANC get rid of everyone? Because here's a divorce. Now, 25-7, look at episode 16, 16-7's flying around in all these numbers. 25-7, today's got 25-7. What the heck? This can say that because there could not be a consensus on the budget, therefore we have to go our separate ways. I'm not a political, I wouldn't know what that means. or no, not what it means, but is it possible that the ANC can reject the DA? I don't know. If you know, let me know. If you're South African watching, there's. So let's backtrack. So we say there is an issue between parties. There's illegal. There's bullying, and oh God, can you imagine what's going on behind closed doors at the moment? Holy crap. There can even be a change of parts of the government here. Because in the +3, so now the day after the announcement, right? So now we have a 28-10-1. There's a big announcement, 28-10-1. It's a big announcement. Okay, so we've got a 28-10-1. We've got a, there's a 31-4. So 31-4, so if we try and keep it in the budgets, money, balance sheet, 31-4 speaks about cutting down. It even speaks about minimalism. They could be trimming down the cabinet, because we have a very bloated cabinet because of the GNU, the Government of National Unity. But for the international audience, I keep saying GNU because there's an animal in the country called a GNU, and the acronym GNU is the Government of National Unity. And lots of wildlife stories this side as well. Couches, briefcases. 25-7, there can even be a trimming down. You see, 28-10-1 is a political communication line, which means there can be cuts coming in government. Would this be the first time in history that there's cuts in government? And we're talking staffing cuts. Government retrenching. Oh my God. Is that possible? Because 28-10-1 is a political communication line. And we got 16-7's divorce. There's conflicts here, unfortunately. There's going to be major cuts somewhere. So, could there be increase in taxes? I don't believe so. I think that the issue is going to come through cuts internally, trimming down budgets. The consumer is suffering. The consumerism around the world, well, not consumerism, let's just say, the inflation. What do you get bang for your buck? People are struggling. Or let's put it this way, the value for your buck is not there anymore. What is happening to the economics of the world? Because it's not only South Africa, it's everywhere. The 1% sucking the marrow dry, the motherfuckers. So so let's just check. +3 on the day. We've got an 18-9 in the middle. So 18 with an outcome 9 can speak about we're going to try a new model. We're going to experiment with something. Jesus. We've got a 30 outcome 3. Cyril Ramaphosa, or Cyril, is a life path 3, so that it's going to impact him again in the +3. It's all about him. But in the +6, no, that's in the +6, beg your pardon. Yeah, it's going to be Cyril's way or that's it. That's what it is. It's Cyril's way or that's it, Ramaphosa. Cyril is going to put his foot down. In the action, it all pings on him. And his main concern, the greater collective, the greater good, the greater collective, 30 outcome 3. So in the +9, yeah, there's going to be cutting costs dramatically, actually, 31.4. So when Gayton McKenzie went to his Paris situation, now that value of money that he spent going to watch the Paris Olympics can only get him to Paris, which is an hour away from his office. Not to Paris by the dirty river people. Now we're going to Paris. 9. 9:30. Yeah. Okay, so by all accounts, this next budget, heavy cost cutting. People are not going to, Gayton McKenzie and the people, Gayton McKenzie and his colleagues are going to not be able to submit their receipts every month anymore. You know what I mean? All right. So we look, well, let's see. We look forward to it, however that may be. Let's leave it like that for now. So a brief summary then on the budget. Heavy cost cutting. 16.7. Was there? I'm just getting a message about tax. Oh, fuck. There was a 7, yeah. There could still be a tax implication, yeah. Huh? Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that Cyril is bulldozing. Cyril's bulldozing. That's because the reason why I say that, in the +6 of the budget speech day, the new date, all outcome 3s, Aglosi numbers, if you know what I mean, Aglosi. All right, let's see where we go. Alaska, I don't want to raise alarm bells. Alaska crash, February 6, 2025. This culminates as part of a collection of catastrophic failures in the air in the US at the moment, fringing Canada, even military jets going down. Fortunately, in that case, the pilots ejected. But we've got a workhorse commuter aeroplane taking people in Alaska to their destinations going down. I haven't at this point looked at the Canadian flight or the plane, Delta Airlines, that flips on its back. I was meant to, but I'm meant to do a full detailed. I'm going to do a full detailed on all of these because I want to see what's going on myself. Because for me, I asked the question: why would there be so many aviation disasters in a 9-year? It doesn't make sense. If you rewind and you go back to when we were in a 7-year, 2023. There were a lot of aviation particularly trains, if you recall, in the 7 years. 7 is about travel, transportation. But why is this failure happening in a 9-year? There's something off about all of this for me. This should not be happening in a 9-year, in my opinion. So we got a small commuter aircraft coming out of Unalakleet, beg your pardon for the pronunciation, and was headed towards Nome on Thursday afternoon. Unfortunately, 10 souls departed. Bless. The plane was discovered. If you are watching the visual version, just to orientate you, I'm just trying a new system. I've got the event day and the usual +3, +6, +9. Then what I did was I did a -1, +1 on each before and after day, +3, 6, 9. Because when I started looking at these numbers, something's off here for me. So we've got effectively a workhorse doing runs every day, I would assume, or at least once a week, or however it works that side. But by all accounts, a workhorse, right? So on the day that the event takes place, we see a 6 in the start of the day. Now, 6 in this case, when we're speaking about aviation, speaks about engine. Then we have a 6 + 2, which gives us an 8, which speaks about mechanics. So I'm just going on top line first, right? Mechanics 8. Now, of course, yes, this can be one answer, is what I found, and that is when you have a 9, it compounds the issue. So, for example, there's an 8 in the day, there's an 8 as an outcome. That is not, you wouldn't find that on any other sequence if there were no 9s in the sequence, right? Does that make sense? So 9 year, 9 month, 9 day, you're going to get a repetition of numbers, which means double impact compounds the issue. So in other words, if there was an issue with the engine, and in particular the engineering of that engine, if there was an existing issue, for example, not a maintenance record wasn't followed, or it was meant to get serviced last week, but let's just do 5 more runs, so we pay for that service. Do you know what I mean? So we'll have a look for that. So we do have, I would say, legitimate engineering, aviation numbers in play. However, that's in the shop window, right? In the day after the event, we have a +9 conflict. That's 1. We also see we see a 7. I'll zoom in for the visuals because they are a bit smaller. So the next morning when the sun rose and we know that the plane went down and unfortunately everyone on that plane had passed, the day starts with a 7. That already tells me something is wrong. So people have died, right? And there's a 7, which means it's a death of innocence. So why would there be a death of innocence? Surely it was an accident. But when you have a death of innocence, it means some people were murdered. We have a 999 conflict the next day, and that's a government number. Opposing governments, maybe even. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna buy Canada. All right, or Canada's gonna be the 51st state. Okay, so we got a +9 conflict. We're just looking at top line first. We'll go deeper. The outcome 18.9. Now here's the irony, if there ever was an irony. 18.9 speaks about a murder, death, right? On the one hand, if you're a Formula One fan, 18.9 is engineering perfection. We have an 8, which is engineering. 9 is perfection, right? So it speaks about engineering perfection. So you're telling me when this aeroplane crashed, the universe is saying, hey, we've got engineering perfection at play. Now the birds are waking up. How's that possible? So there's a problem. So in other words, we can already say, well, we could say this could have been avoided. Let's go deeper. The +3, the intention, the day before, we have a 10-1 in the middle of play. And we have a 19-10-1. Now we're in the 72-hour zone, right? We've got money issues at play. And when you speak about things like 10-1, now look at the day after the event in the +1. The day after the event in the +3, we have a 10-1 at the start of that day. Wow. Maybe instead of getting a new aeroplane or buying a new airplane, let's just crash this one and we'll get insurance for it. It's an option. It's a possibility, but I don't think it's the ultimate possibility. Why? Because 10-1 also speaks about governments. And we have a 9-9 in place. So there's something wrong here. The actual day of the event +3, in the middle we have an 11-2, unlawful. We have 999s in the first two rows. If you have too many of these numbers in the first two rows, we've got a problem. There's a big illegal situation that has taken place here. Unlawful, universe is saying. Murder of innocents, unlawful. Chaos. Operational numbers, 10-1s. Was this a takedown? Was someone trying to say something? In the action, the day before, we have a 22-4. Now, let's be fair, 22-4 can speak about mechanics. 22-4, we'll make it work, yeah, we'll do one more flight and then we get it fixed. Unfortunately, in the action, oh no, that would be wrong. I haven't updated this one, so that would be 13. Oy. So yeah, showing the deaths. It's indicating possible human error for all right. Now I want to just be clear about something when we say human error. 15.6 can be human error. But 15.6 human error can also bring around elements of tampering. This sounds very familiar. I have gone through a bit of a shake-up in the past 7-8 days. I'll discuss that at the end. I'll share some moments. The problem I'm having with human error, 15.6 in this case, is we have a 22-4 the day before the event. Now, 22-4 is premeditated, right? Planned. It's a plan. 14-5 in the day of the event in the middle, we have a 14-5. Foul play. Now, 14-5 can speak about difficulties. So mechanical difficulties is a possibility, yes. There, in my opinion, human error with foreknowledge, so it can't be human error. Do you know what I mean? So you knew the plane, you had to change the cylinders at whatever time or whatever flight duration you've done on a craft. But for me, there's something off here. And it's going to deal with money. There's something wrong here. Now, the reason why I say something wrong, right? So, again, it can't be human error. So, human error, we can say, I made a mistake. Okay, I crashed the plane. But if you knowingly did not put oil in your car, does that make it human error? Do you know what I mean? So you intentionally didn't put oil in the car. So in the +9, so the day before 16/7, so we can say, okay, well, we used to operate in this way, and that's the only way we know how to operate. If we see a bit of smoke, okay, we better take it in for a service. 15/6, 17/8, the 15/6 on the day in the +9. So because it starts with the 15, there's whatever happened with this airplane, the operator, whoever's responsible for this airplane, be it the pilot or the owner of the plane or the operators, they knew about it already. And I believe they might be financially cash strapped. There's a 21/3 the day after in the +9, which means, come on, baby, 10 more trips and we'll buy a new engine. But I'm not liking this 10/1s around here, 19/10/1. So if we say, okay, it's an aviation operation situation, there's not even aviation numbers here. This is, there's illegal maintenance issues even. There's something illegal happen. There's something illegal about the plane on that day. And 9 conflicts. I almost want to say there's possibly even higher. There's another level of higher up that knows before shit went down. In my opinion, this could have been prevented. There's a 14/5 in play, 14/5 foul play, and it can't be human error. There's something wrong with the Alaskan crash. And subsequently, by the way, maybe I'll go deeper in the aviation episode. The incident with the mid-air collision in Arizona, Marana, excuse my pronunciation, Marana Regional Airport on February 19. We see very similar numbers. Look here, 9 conflict. But the numbers that I'm seeing here are dubious. Also, 19/10/1 in play. This for me sounds like a dark op situation. We've got 39/12/3 in play. So you'll recall if you watched the remote control episode with the Black Hawk Down, this is identical numbers to the Black Hawk Down evening. The outcomes are identical. We've got a 33/6 in play here. This, for me, also stood out as problematic. I mean, in this case, we don't even have aviation numbers. This is like someone took those 2 poor people in that plane and crashed them. We can go deeper, but we've got agency numbers around here as well. So what was significant about this flight, or who were the 2 people in the plane? And the as with the Black Hawk Down evening into that that airplane, commuter plane, beg your pardon, commuter plane coming in, domestic commuter plane coming in, had the same numbers here with all these threes. Now that's and there's no conflicts here, which says that whole moment was under control. If I tell you, if I was a pilot or a whatever, big aircraft, plane, train, whatever, and there's a 12 threes around and threes, I'm going to feel comfortable. But if you flip the lens, okay, so who's actually controlling the plane? The pilot or the people on the ground? Very, very concerning. And that's why I brought the other aviation dates in. This guy keeps making me laugh with the budget speech debacle. Okay. So the Alaskan situation for me could have been prevented. There's something off there, like with the Arizona airplane crash. There's something off. And again, we ask ourselves the question, why would this happen? Why would they do that? Why would people deliberately bring a plane down? For what purpose? And who's controlling it? Who's making the decisions? These motherfuckers. Now, I'm going to leave the AI for a fuller episode because there's more information I need there. But I just want to share it, of course, over the past few weeks, we've had intense energy around the world. And, to discuss this is very important because, if you look around, everything that has generally been happening is kind of double from last year, if you will, because as I mentioned, the nines create a recurring effect or a double impact effect. So everything that is happening in this 9 year is going to have a profound impact on all of us. To experience something is one thing, but to have a double impact is another. So, and in the case of aviation, in the case of politics, and in crime, things are going to mount. And I found this very disturbing, particularly, 9 is about creation. 9 is about the higher self. It's the Buddha number. And we are being asked, make sure you are happy with what you are doing. Are you doing what you're meant to be doing? We all hear, I guess there are many theories, but we have a purpose. What do you want to do with your life? And the universe, the universe is now in, the universe with the 9 year is in a completion cycle. It's reached the end of its cycle, 9, because we go back to 1. So the universe itself is going to shake itself. The world is shaking. People are shaking. Now, what I find quite interesting, just as a passing comment, that Trump would call Zelensky a dictator. Now, we know Uncle Donald has many business concerns around the world, including Russia. I would find it very offensive if a global leader like Trump is in the position, siding with another mighty continent and calling the small guy dictator. I think if you look in the annals of history, from present day to when Putin became of age of an arsehole, you will note that his footprints, his path, far exceeds that of a dictator. He's a maniacal, Vladimir Satan in the East. So how do we call the small guy a dictator? The only reason why you call a small guy a dictator is because you are a bully. I'm just going to leave it at that, because for me, that is like, come on. You're going to call Andy, what did he call him? A mediocre comedian at best. Wow. I've never heard such political jargon in my life. But be that as it may, as mentioned before, Russia will not win. Now, why would Donald say something so ridiculous like that? Did Vladimir say, well, hey, if we don't sort something out, you know that casino on Billionaire Boulevard, we're going to start taxing you for that now. Has he been getting exempts there in Russia? Bit of a catch-22 situation with him, I would imagine. We're going to tariff your arse off, but not the ones that feed you. Right? Didn't Mr. Kellogg do a 180 on Trump this week? Kellogg, the famous Kellogg's. You got a bully calling an abused adult a dictator. I think we'll have a lot of these Trumpisms coming out the White House. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it here for Intuitive Sundays. On a personal note, the past week has been quite the thing, to be honest. You'll recall, for those that were here when I started the channel, I had the channel up and running for approximately 6 months. And then I got a call to produce a feature film, which I'm happy to say I've seen what we call a picture lock version. So the editor's complete. I saw that this week. The director is as happy as she can be, and I believe the project is as happy as it can be. But I want to just share, because having made contacts, or the EPs got hold of me, or the one EP, and then I saw the director this week. I went for an interview on the film. But it just brought back a mountain of information that, for an artist, and in particular in the medium that I worked in, film, as a filmmaker, one, it was really beautiful moment for me to see my name at the end of the film with my name on there as credited as producer. I also happened to get a story credit as well, because the EPs and I had worked on the story for a very long time. Or let's put it this way, we created a story and then got the framework, and then we brought in writers and the director and developed it further. But very excited to see how the audience will react to it. The cast that we brought into the movie were outstanding ensemble cast. And we really, I know a lot of producers and directors say this, but in this case, we had, as much as a beautiful ensemble cast that we had a beautiful ensemble crew as well. And our crew were amazing, good people, creative artists. We in the main, the crew worked their asses off. And ironically, we were going to film, or we set up on top of this huge mountain one evening. But unfortunately, the weather conditions were so bad that the weather came in quite quick, a lot of rain, definitely not filmable. And getting off the mountain was even a challenge on itself, where many of the vehicles, and some of them were 4x4s or 2x4s, but a lot of our vehicles got stuck, even including mine at one point. And it's amazing that if you know the industry, our grips leader came in and helped all of us. It was really just amazing. That's just one incident. But lovely crew, lovely. I believe we got a good picture. Of course, I'm not directly involved with it anymore. I handed over into post where the director took over. But I must just say, putting that together, and it applies to all films, is a monster feat. But what I'm getting to is making contact with the team again this week, just the flood of memories. And, at the end of the day, when the show goes on air or when the film gets projected on a screen, it is all worth it at the end of the day. But I can tell you now, that was a tough one, I must say. Very tough. However, we have a beautiful picture that's going to come out soon, so I'll keep everyone posted as soon as I get information. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure doing these episodes. I love doing them, and I will continue doing them, of course. And let's kick ass this year. There's been a lot of negative things happening at the start of this year. We can only hope that, like the sunrise, the shadows dissipate over time. Bye for now.